Hello students, welcome you all to this second video of this video series on electricity. So the topics that I will be covering today are electrical potential, a little bit more about electrical cells and also circuit diagrams. So let us begin.
So let us start. So basically, before moving on further, I just want to make a mention of this horrible diagram that I have drawn. Please do not mind this diagram. Please try to find the emotions behind this diagram. Okay, so basically this is the overhead tank that we all have in our household. This is a pretty normal tap, okay, and this is the pipe through which water flows from the overhead tank to the tap. Okay, so I just want to ask you all a question. That is a point A. Let it be point A and let it be point B. So water molecules at point A এনেকুৱা কি বস্তু বেছি আছে বা মই কি ক'ব বিচাৰিছোঁ যে water molecules বিলাক কেলে A পৰা B লে flow কৰে when the tap is open. টেপটো খুলি দিয়াৰ লগে লগে পানী যে flow কৰে তাৰমানে কি বুজাইছে যে water molecules বিলাক A পইণ্টৰ পৰা B পইণ্টলৈকে সেই পাইপটোৰ থ্ৰুৱেদি flow হয় কেলে হয় সো সেই বস্তুটোৰ আনসাৰ সেই কোৱেশ্চনটোৰ আনসাৰ কৰিবলৈ যাওঁতে আমি এটা কনসেপ্টৰ কথা জানো that concept is gravitational potential energy. So you might all have heard about it in class 9. Okay, so আমি বস্তুটা জানো যে potential energy of water molecules at point A এই কাৰণে বেছি কাৰণ water molecules at point A are at a greater elevation than point B. Okay, so in short there is a gradient. Okay, that gradient is what we now know as gravitational potential energy gradient. Okay, so gravitational potential energy gradient eta thakar babe he water molecules bilak A pra B le flow hoy. So the last question that I asked from the last video was that why do charges flow? So itia we have the answer that for charges to flow there must be a difference in electric pressure, or to say it in other words we can say that there must be a gradient of electric pressure, and that gradient of electric pressure is nothing other than potential. Okay, so potential thakar babe hai only because there is a potential difference between 2 points in a current carrying conductor charges flow from one point to the other. Okay, what is the electrical instrument, but what is an instrument by which a potential difference is created? That instrument is nothing other than a battery. So battery consists of more than one or more electric cells. So that is kotha ahile electric cell bostutu hoy ki we'll be talking about its structure after one or two more slides. Kintu ita basically electrical cell ki hoy no. So electrical cell is basically home to specific chemical reactions which are known as redox reactions that generates a potential difference across the terminals of the cell. Okay, so electric potential ki kore, it generates a potential difference across the terminals of the cell because it has some undergoing specific chemical reactions, okay, that give rise to such a potential difference. So when we connect this cell to a conducting circuit element, potential difference কি কৰে সেই conducting element to থাকা charges বিলাকক motion দিয়ে বুঝছে না in turn generating electricity. Okay, so now as I've promised you all we will be basically discussing what a electrical cell looks like. So the example that we look at is one of the most primitive forms of cell which was, I would say, it was co-invented by Alessandro Volta and Luigi Galvani. তো co-invented কোৱাটো ভুল হ'ব এটা পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ সেন্সত কাৰণ দে both were not from the same era. Okay, but still তেখেতৰ I mean Alessandro Volta আৰু Luigi Galvani দুইজনৰ মেজৰ কন্ট্ৰিবিউশনছৰ হেল্প লৈ পেলাই গেলভেনিক সেলটো বনোৱা গৈছে. তো গেলভেনিক সেল বেসিক্যালি হয় কি? ওকে, galvanic cell বা voltaic cell. So galvanic cell basically hoy ki it basically has two components that the first one is the negatively charged anode and the second one is the positively charged cathode. So what happens here is that zinc is dipped in its sulfate solution and copper is, which acts as the cathode, is dipped in this sulfate solution as well. Okay, so what happens is that when these two apparatus, this beaker is connected to the other beaker with the help of a wire that has been stated here. Okay, so what happens is that zinc undergoes a particular reaction. So zinc breaks down to zinc 2 positive ions plus 2 electrons. Okay, so a duta electron, since this is a current carrying conductor, as I have mentioned earlier, so a current carrying conductor through the electrons bilak flow hoy pale it lands on the copper metal strip. So copper metal strip to electrons thakar karone a electrical a solution to copper 2 positive ions bilak they gain those 2 electrons in the copper strip and get deposited in the copper strip. Okay, so yet আমি যদি চাবলৈ যাওঁ ইয়াত zinc 2 positive ions বিলাক খালি থাকি গ'ল, so they move in this direction across the salt bridge. Similarly, sulfate 2 negative molecules that are present here move in this direction along the salt bridge and they get collected by some component there. Okay, so this basically is the work of a salt bridge. So this is how basically electrical circuit by galvanic cell performs. Okay, this is how a galvanic cell functions. Okay, so as যেহেতু দেখিলো ইলেক্ট্ৰনছ বিলাক এই জিংক টু পজিটিভ প্লেটৰ পৰা কপাৰ টু পজিটিভ কপাৰ প্লেটটোলৈ আহিলে জিংকৰ প্লেটটোৰ পৰা কপাৰ প্লেটটোলৈ আহিলে তাৰ মানে কি জেনাৰেটেড ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিটি ইন দিছ ডাইৰেকশ্যন উই অল নো. অ'কে, চ' দিছ ইজ হাউ এ বেটাৰী ৱৰ্কছ. অ'কে, যেতিয়া আমি এই দুটা টাৰ্মিনেল ফৰ এক্সাম্পল দিছ ইজ টাৰ্মিনেল 1 এণ্ড দিছ ইজ টাৰ্মিনেল 2 এই দুটা টাৰ্মিনেল যেতিয়া এটা কাৰেণ্ট কেৰিং কণ্ডাক্টৰত লগাই দিম তেতিয়াহ'লে ইট ষ্টাৰ্টছ টু কণ্ডাক্ট ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিটি. দ্য কণ্ডাক্টৰ ষ্টাৰ্টছ টু কণ্ডাক্ট ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিটি. Okay, so this is how basically galvanic cell work. This topic is way out of your syllabus, but still you guys need to know it, because not only because it comes in your examinations like Olympiads and stuff, but also for your knowledge. Okay, so it basically I potential difference express can I go. So potential difference express ko bole karne we basically take 2 points in a conductor. Let this be 2 points in a conductor, this be point A and this be point B. So potential difference is basically the work done in bringing a charge Q from point A to point B. Okay, so potential difference of kami ki bole ko potential difference mathematical jodi bole jao between 2 points is the work done per unit charge. Okay, so the SI unit of electrical potential difference is volt, and it is named after one of the greatest Italian physicists of all time, Alessandro Volta. Okay, so 1 volt basically ki hoy. What is 1 volt? 1 volt is the potential difference between 2 points in a current carrying conductor when 1 joule of work is done to move a charge of 1 coulomb from one point to another. Okay, so 1 volt or description hoy to what 1 volt basically is. So moving on, how do you measure potential difference? More potential difference at a particular current carrying conductor measure kobole karone amak ki lage, we basically have an instrument. That instrument is none other than voltmeter. So voltmeter ki kora hoy, for example this is a current carrying conductor aru point A aru point B er majot ami potential difference measure koribo lage. So we use the voltmeter, connect it parallel across this point, across the 2 points across which we want to measure the potential difference. Okay, and then we get the potential difference value from the that is eventually the reading in the voltmeter. Okay, so we connect it parallel across the points between which the potential difference is measured. So moving on, iti ami basically kotha patisu ami last video to kotha patisilu about electrical circuit. However, we did not talk about it in detail. So basically we will be discussing it in detail. So electrical circuit to represent koribole karone, diagramical representation koribole karone, we have something known as a circuit diagram. Okay, so circuit diagrams bilakot ami ki koru, we give certain we assign conventional symbols to several electrical components and thus give a diagramical representation. So circuit diagram is none other than just a diagramical representation of several electrical components in a circuit. Okay, you got it right? So basically I will be now talking about an example of an electrical circuit. So yate moi gutekhini cover koribole chesta korisu, gutekhini components, electrical components that is necessary for you all to know at this period of time. So yeah, tumalke dekhisa I have mentioned a battery. This is the battery I have mentioned. So tat apunalke dekhisa, tumalke dekhisa je tat tinta part ase. So individual parts are cells. Okay, so this is a key. So key basically tamane key key as functions, I mean, I would say that key is a simple analogy to taps. Okay, tap that I have mentioned before in the household example that I took of gravitational potential energy. So a key to, presently it is in a closed state. Closed state mane it defines that electrical current is flowing through that circuit. When I say the key is open, electrical circuit is not flowing through that circuit. I mean, electrical current is not flowing through that electrical circuit. Okay, so the two instruments for measuring current and voltage are basically ammeter and voltmeter denoted here. So the particular things, before going to that, this is an electrical bulb. I have used this diagram in the previous video if you have noticed. So basically this is an electrical bulb. So tar pisot voltmeter to it is connected in parallel to what we know is a resistance, and this is a variable resistance. So resistance no ki hoy. Okay, as its name suggests, resistance is basically an electrical equipment that resists the flow of charges. Okay, so we will be discussing about it in more detail in the next class. So with this I would like to end, but before ending, let us summarize whatever we studied. So first of all, today we studied about electrical potentials. তাৰ পিছত ইলেক্ট্ৰিক পটেনশিয়ালে যে চাৰ্জবিলাকক ফ্ল' কৰাই, that is responsible for the charges of flow. We learned about it. Then we came to know how an electrical potential is maintained in a current carrying conductor. তাৰপিছত cell, a particular example of cell, galvanic cell কথা আমি ভালকে পঢ়িলোঁ. Okay, following which we learned how to express it mathematically, followed by its unit. Then what we learned is how do we measure potential difference across 2 points in a current carrying conductor. We basically have an instrument that is none other than voltmeter. Tarpisot we learned how to represent an electrical circuit. We represent it using a circuit diagram. So this is the perfect example of a circuit diagram. It covers almost all those electrical equipments. So by saying that, I would like to end this video. Thank you for staying tuned to this video, and please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to this channel for more awesome updates. Thank you and have a nice day.